Wearing only his lainer, Connor was about to rise and quickly don his kilt when Laurel stood in front of him and pointed to his seat. He glanced down and realized he was sitting on the very garment she was looking for. He knew he should rise and give them to her, but he could only stare at his wife. She was everything a man could desire in a woman, and every time he saw her stripped of all clothing but attempted to hide her beauty, it took his breath away. Tall and delicate-looking, with ivory skin and long wavy pale gold hair, she looked like an angel. Feeling himself growing hard once again, Connor decided to order Hamish to leave, immediately. To hell with the gossip. He and Laurel would just have to find another secret place to meet. Unfortunately, he made the decision a second too late. The door cracked open, and Laurel immediately dove behind several barrels that were piled high with materials, blankets, and other clothing supplies. Hamish paused outside the entrance for several seconds before rattling the door in hopes that he had given his laird and lady enough time to prepare themselves for his entrance. He had come up the stairs at a painfully slow pace, while intentionally making enough noise so that regardless of what state they were in, they should have been ready to receive him. Any other day, Hamish would have turned around and left upon hearing the muffled sounds as he had started his ascent up the stairwell. It had been impossible to understand anything Connor was saying, but his laird's tone had been both heated and laced with passion. The combination was a clear indication that he was not alone. Laurel was with him. No two people fought or loved each other as much as Connor and his wife Laurel, although Hamish had to admit some of Connor's younger brothers came close with their own wives. Though deeply in love, Laird and Lady McTiernay were both stubborn and headstrong. Each refused to let their strong emotions for the other make them ever appear submissive. And Hamish knew the depth of their love better than most, for he had witnessed their relationship since the beginning. He had seen it spark, and how that ember had only grown into a constant fire which burned between them. It was a relationship not to be envied, but emulated. And while Hamish had for many years longed to find someone with whom he could share a deep connection and commitment, the debacle of his last attempt left his heart incapable of such emotion. He felt nothing, and the numbness that had consumed him for the past several months was not going away any time soon. Not a single one of the multiple beauties the McTiernay wives had pushed into his path during the recent festivities leading up to Epiphany had created even a spark of a physical, emotional, or mental reaction. Hamish knew deep down he was no longer capable of love, and strangely, he accepted it. For others, especially McTiernay's, love was a wondrous thing to be sought and coveted. For him, the emotion equaled misery, a fact he should have accepted years ago with the betrayal of his first love. It had left him with only one honourable choice, to leave his home and all his birthrights, never to return. Now the very man who had stolen her heart was insisting he return. It was not the first time his younger brother had made such a request, but Hamish vowed it would be the last. His heart neither sought nor wanted revenge, but after 12 years it was time for his brother to leave what happened in the past and move on like he had. Unfortunately, it had become obvious that could not be accomplished until all involved parties once again came face to face with one another. Hamish would have preferred to delay the meeting until summer, for he had no desire to travel to the northern edge of Scotland in January, the coldest and wettest time of year. But the nature of his brother's request made such a delay impossible. Robert might be willing to risk innocent lives, but Hamish was not. He had not thought ever to see the men and women of his clan again, but he had still considered himself to be a MacBrieve. Clan loyalty required his return to help, this one time. However, once he was ensured of their safety, it would be up to the clansmen and women to require their leader and clan chief, his brother, to act on their behalf. Hamish would have fulfilled any obligation to them. Hamish started to push the handle of the door and heard Laurel's teasing voice.